This is Spreadsheet Homeroom, short tutorials to turn your spreadsheeting into a superpower. If you've ever written a call slip, writing one isn't so bad, but writing the name, date, and classroom schedule for many students is a time-consuming and unnecessary hassle. In this episode of Spreadsheet Homeroom, we will use the vlookup function to pull this information into a fast, convenient solution for bulk printing call slips. The ID numbers and the schedule are printed on the schedule by period sheet. So let's look up that student's ID number, let's say in period 3, where we know that most students have a class period scheduled. Press the equal sign and then type vlookup. The first thing in vlookup will be the search key. That is the number we are looking for, which is right here. So click on this cell N1, comma. The range we should look for. Where should sheets look for this number? That's over in the schedule by period, and we're going to look up in this range. So highlight starting in column I and then over to column L. So we're going to look for that ID number in column I, comma. The index is from this range we just gave it, I through L. What column should we return then? Look for the ID number in the first column. We want to return the name, which is in the second column. So 2, comma, and then is sorted, just by default, we'll put 0. Close the right parenthesis and then press enter. So this student's ID number here is Constancy Omand. Great. So now let's go to the first call slip. I've already programmed much of this for you. You can see the ID number from cell N1 that we just typed is here. And then Constancy's name shows up here already. Again, this is the vlookup function we just did. We would now like to pull the student's schedule, periods 1 through 8. If you only have 6 periods, then you can delete these last 2, for example. So let's go to period 1 then. For that, we'll type equals vlookup. The search key will be this ID number for this call slip. Again, I've programmed this already, comma. The range, where should sheets look up this number? This is for period 1. So click schedule by period. And then this first set of 4 columns is period 1, comma. The index, once that ID number is found, we want to go to the 1, 2, 3, 4th column, which is the classroom number. And then is sorted by default to 0, right parenthesis. So Constancy is in room 130 for period 1. Excellent. We'll repeat this for as many class periods as you have. We now want to extend the application to display all of those names. Simply, we can take the formula that we already wrote into P1 and just fill down by dragging this blue dot down to row 40 here. If you would like to remove those NAs, we can simply come back up to P1 and we're going to wrap this vlookup in a function called if_NA, which means if it's an error, if this vlookup is an error, then don't actually print the error, just print, in this case, a quote will be a blank output. So now when we fill that formula down, same thing, the names will still show up, but if there are no ID numbers in that row, it will produce a blank instead. Just looks a little nicer. If you would like another version of this application that instead of using the ID numbers has drop downs where you can select individual students just by name, be sure to check out my other video on drop downs. For more content like this to supercharge your spreadsheeting, visit spreadsheetsforschools.com. And the next time you're working with data, remember, this looks like a job for super spreadsheets.